What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sirr Love, and welcome to another episode of Phase 6. We're getting ready to talk about contracts, sub-publishing, co-publishing, all those different things. We just did another video prior to, so there's a part 1 to this. This is part 2. If you haven't seen part 1, you should check out part 1. But if you only want to know about co-publishing, sub-publishing, different variants of publishing, because you already understand the high level of what publishing is, then I guess you could just go forward. But that's the topic for today. We're continuing our series on contracts and deals, and just trying to explain basic concepts to individuals that may not know what these things are. So let's jump into it. Phase 6. Perfect. Excited that you guys came back for part 2. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to break this thing down. Quick recap. I'm not going to go really fast, but a publishing deal is a deal in which a individual, or normally it's going to be a company. It could be an individual, but that individual will be masked as a company if they do so. Or in which a company comes to an artist or a group or a writer or a producer of some sort and decides to engage them in an agreement for the purpose of selling their music to other businesses. By businesses, we mean television companies, it could be radio companies, television companies, radio companies, movie companies, sporting companies, commercials, and basic any company that's doing a commercial, marketing agencies, etc. The list could go on, and how those things work. So there's a couple different options that you guys have when you guys are considering these different type of opportunities. Option number 1 is a standard publishing deal. Standard publishing deal is what I just described. Individual comes to you, you give up a percentage, or normally you'll give up all. In a traditional publishing deal, you give up all ownership of your masters or copyrights for either a period of time or in perpetuity, which means forever, for a select few records for an upfront fee or advance. Now, the difference between a fee or an advance is this. A fee is your money, clear-cut cash. An advance, you have to pay back. So if someone gives you an advance on a publishing deal, that means that if they give you $100,000 up front, then they're going to take your records, they're going to do what they want to do with their records, and they're going to retain all the money. They're going to retain all the money that they make, whatever their cut is. Maybe you did some type of split with them where it was like they got 80 and you got 20 or whatever, but we'll get into that a little bit more co-pub. But whatever deal was done, they're going to retain their percentage, and they're going to pay your percentage towards your debt until you pay back that $100,000. At that point, then you'll start getting your cut from that point forward, right? That's what an advance looks like. However, a fee is just here straight cash for you for allowing us to have any type of ownership, stake, or control in this. That's something that's going to be given to people that have proven themselves in this space. Now, just because you have millions of sales on the music side doesn't necessarily warrant that you're going to be treated that way on the publishing side, because they need to know from a publishing standpoint how much money do you make. If you have a jacked up record deal over there and you're giving up a lot of your publishing deal on the record label side, then there's not a lot of gains that the publishing company has moving forward in this scenario. So depending on a bunch of different factors, that company may decide that they're not going to treat you like the superstar that you are, because there's a completely different set of superstars in the publishing world. People that you've never heard of before, that just write dope songs that are used on commercials all the time, that are used as background music in movies all the time, that get hired for scoring and creating soundtracks and all sorts of different things, that are superstars, that are able to say, hey, I want a fee. Now, just because you're a superstar over here doesn't make you a superstar over here, and vice versa. However, it's highly probable that you're going to be treated better over here if you perform well over here, and over here if you perform well over here. So I just want to put that out there, but that's the difference between an advance or a fee. Now that we understand that, let's go forward. So in a traditional publishing deal, you're most likely just going to get an advance, and they're going to retain ownership over either music that you've done in the past or music that you're getting ready to do in the future. Now, music that you're getting ready to do in the future, a lot of times is going to be written out as a song deal. Now, a song deal is when a publisher or some entity or organization that's using the publishing title comes to you and says, hey, we want to buy 10 records from you, and we're going to advance you X amount of dollars on that, plus we'll give you this amount of money in a fee in exchange for you giving us ownership over the next 10 records you do. Now, why would an individual do that? An individual will do that because they know that you have a history of making hit records, and they don't know which record is going to be the hit. They really only want the hit, but they don't know if the next record you're going to do is a hit. So they say, I want the next 10 records, hoping that one of those records is going to take off, blow up, and make all this money so they can get their money back. It's like investing. Everyone knows that you invest, VCs and all sorts of different angel investors and such know that anytime you're investing, you might invest in 10 companies and 9 of them will fail, but one of them will be successful, and that one made up for all the money that you lost from all of the others. Same way song deals are looked at. They can also be looked at from a greedy standpoint if they know that you're just on fire right now and you're just shelling them out. But hey, that's on you to make that decision. So, tricky thing about a song deal that people don't recognize is that one song is 100%. That's the trick. So if you're a songwriter, then every time you write a song, you only write 50% of the song. Think about it. Think about all the other videos we've talked about. If you haven't seen all the other videos, then this isn't going to make sense, and I'm not going to explain it right now, but go watch other videos and you'll get it. So if you partner with like 5 or 6 different writers on a particular song, and then you're only getting 20% of that record? Well, 20% goes to your 100% of one song. So any one song has to equal 100%, which means 10 songs could actually turn into 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 songs, depending on how many writing partners you have and how many people are involved in the process every time you release a record. So that's the tricky part about that whole thing. But that is a song deal. What other type of deals are there out there? You have the sub-pub deal. The sub-pub deal is let's go back. You have the co-pub deal. The co-pub deal is very similar. Very, very similar to a pub deal. Only difference between a co-pub deal is that there's some type of shared responsibilities and there's more shared ownership. A co-pub deal, you won't see often, the publisher getting 80 and the songwriter getting 20. You're going to see something more like a 50-50 split, or even, the songwriter having a larger split, a 70-30 split, the songwriter's way or whatever. That's a co-pub deal. Now, in a co-pub deal, a lot of times you have to share some of the responsibilities, like you have a little bit more responsibility because you are business person and you are now overseeing funds and different things of that nature that are coming in. However, a lot of times that publishing company is going to offer to handle just about all the money, right? That's something that you and your team have to think about. Is your business manager able to handle some of the money? Do you really trust this publisher to pay you your money on time, especially if you have the largest percentage? That's between you and your team. However, a co-pub deal is where you do a publishing deal, but you don't give up 100% ownership of any one record you do. You're giving up a percentage of ownership over all the records you do for either a period of time or for a certain amount of songs, just like a song deal, certain percentage of songs built up over time, and you just have a different split on a co-pub. In order to get a co-pub, the other organization normally has done business with you before. They normally have high beliefs and hopes in you and different things of that nature. They know that you're going to deliver, so they're willing to take a lower number because you probably already put in work improving yourself in the past, or just your numbers showcase that you're a person of that value and of that stature. It's like getting a joint venture deal as a record label. Record labels get joint venture deals. It'd be the same as a joint venture. Everyone doesn't get them. Only the people that have proven that they can handle themselves a certain way get these types of deals. Now, that brings me to the sub-pub deal. What is a sub-pub deal? Well, sub-publishing deal is anytime you're shipping your music out to another provider's. It's typically done to people in other countries, other nations. So you'll ship some music out to Japan, and you may not have the skill set or the team or the bandwidth to handle publishing in Japan. You don't understand the Japanese system potentially. You don't have any relationship with all the PROs because they have their own PROs. They don't use ASCAP, BMI, etc., etc. They got their own set of things that they do out there, and collecting the money and tracking the money and all those different types of things. Yeah, though you can go out there and figure it out. There are publishing companies out there that are masters at it, that do it for the people that are local there, that you can partner with and say, hey, we're trying to break some music out there, or A, we're getting ready to have our music placed in a Japanese movie, or A, we're getting ready to be in this Japanese commercial, and we want to make sure we're taken care of. We're going to partner with you to collect our funds and make sure that nothing goes funny in that particular area. Send them back to us. That's a sub-pub deal. On the sub-pub side, they're going to say, okay, cool, cut us in a little bit. We're going to go get this money for you. It's just basically hiring someone to put in the footwork, right? That's what a sub-pub deal looks like, and anyone can do it. If you yourself didn't have a publishing company and you were hot in China right now, you can, partner with a company out there and do a sub-pub deal. So these are the different types of deals that are popular in the publishing space. Next is the licensing deals and admin deals. I feel like I don't want to break every single thing down in this video. The video is going to get extra long. So we're going to talk about licensing. We're going to talk about admin in the next video because I think it's going to be beneficial to you guys to know the difference. And those are the areas in which, you get more responsibility. You're not giving up records. And admin deals and licensing deals, the difference between those and all the different publishing deals that I talked about before is that the publishing deals, you're sharing ownership with somebody. In the deals that we're going to talk about in the next video, you're able to get the benefits of working with a publisher without having to give up ownership in your records. So that's something that gets people excited. So in the next video, we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna bring it back to you guys. So if you like this video, like, subscribe, share, tell other people about it. Once again, go to www.phasevi.com. We do all sorts of info packs and stuff like that about this particular content and all sorts of other different content. Hopefully it's helpful for you guys. I'm doing this video just to help people because I get a lot of feedback through the website. People asking me questions in my DM on Instagram, people asking me questions. And a lot of times people don't understand these things. And so I'm breaking down high level what these things are so that you guys can have the answers to these. So I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. And every time I get in front of this camera, I give you guys everything that I got. Stay tuned to Phase 6. Like, subscribe, share, tell other people about it. Subscribe, hit the button. Let's do it. I'm out.